What up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. Matt Farah here, and today's episode is, as always, brought to you by Off the Record. Listen, if you get pulled over, if you get ticketed for a moving violation, it is your right to fight that, and you should, but you should get help. Use Off the Record, right? Don't plead guilty. Get Off the Record. Go to offtherecord.com/TST. Off the Record will connect you with a qualified attorney in the jurisdiction where you got that ticket, and they will fight that ticket, and they have a very, very high success rate of keeping those points off your record. That helps your insurance rates, possibly your employment status. What else? Who knows? But you don't want points on your record. That's why you get Off the Record. Go to offtherecord.com/TST. That's offtherecord.com/TST to get 10% off all legal services booked through Off the Record. You do it now, and on with the show. All right, folks, on today's episode of the podcast, Zach and I are back in studio, and we had a hell of a morning up on the mountain driving the Totem GT Super, which is kind of like an Alfa if you give an Alfa a whole bunch of acid. Also, we give some thoughts on the Aston Martin Vantage Roadster that we're driving this week, and Chrysler has teased us with an overlanding van that makes me slightly aroused. All this and more on today's episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast. I should have just done a minute of straight silence like Andy Kaufman. Hi. Hello. Hello. All right, now we have to transition brain into show. It's show. Cars. These are cars. Hello. My brain is a little jelly right now because it was buzzed for 6.5 hours this morning.
Meaning shaken.
It was shaken, not stirred.
Like a Shakerado, which they serve at Blue Bottle now, I just learned.
Oh, it's coming. I told everybody it's coming. Be ready. If you don't know about the Shakerado, you better axe somebody. But that's an Italian thing, and we spent all morning in another Italian thing.
We did.
And boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
That is, wow. That is a lot.
It's funny. I'll jump ahead. There was someone asked a question today that they said, after watching all the Monterey Car Week stuff, are we at peak reimagination at this point? And I just think it's funny that today we drove another reimagination.
Yet another reimagination.
But I'm here for it. When it's done this well, and I think the attention's this good, I support it. I really do. And we know, like, I'm real mad there's too many hypercars and income and but like this stuff I think inspires me and other people.
I think this is a little different because this is like actual, like, artisanal kind of thing. This is like a little shop making a small number of cars, and we're talking about the Automobili Totem. This is this Alfa Romeo thing. Automobili Totem GT Super, which is, it's best described as an Alfa Romeo resto mod, though there's there's no Alfa in this. There's none. There's the amount of Alfa in this is so comically small. Mm-hmm. The badge, maybe, and they remake those. It is a carbon monocoque. It looks vaguely like a GTV. Yep. It's a modernized GTV style. GTA, GTV, yeah. The two-door, two-box Alfa that everybody loves, that everyone pretty much universally agrees is a great-looking car. Yeah. Like, find a person that's like, nah, the GTV doesn't look good. Like, doesn't exist.
I bet even the 2002s and 510s back in the day that were chasing them around like Laguna were like, fuck, it's pretty.
It's a good-looking car.
It's a good thing to chase.
Good-looking car.
Yeah.
So it's that, right? But it's all carbon monocoque, carbon body, carbon, a lot of fucking things.
Carbon window trim.
Carbon window trim.
Who
weighs,
does that?
Yeah. It weighs something under 3,000 pounds, but we don't know exactly how much it weighs.
500 of those pounds is leather.
Yeah, there's the interior's insane. If you scroll on my Instagram, there's photos of it. It's wide and it's low, and it's got that teardrop rear end that looks so great, and then the interior is this leather and houndstooth and billet and metal, and has a Ferrari. Like, they try to not share parts. Like, they did their best to share no parts, so it has its own engine.
Yeah.
Like, it has its own sequential turbo V6 that's not in anything else. And it's fucking mental, actually. It's one of the crazier engines I think I've driven recently, now that I think of it. But with an actual Graziano Ferrari transaxle from a 550.
50-50 weight.
Yeah. Low, wide, and it looks like it's pretty fast. If you look at it, you go, oh, that looks pretty quick. It's like way faster than you think it's going to be. Like, it's weird that something that's like $600,000 and looks like this could be like a sleeper, but the fucking thing, I mean, it pulls like, you know.
Well, because I think the shape of these has always been, I mean, it's beautiful, but like cute. Like those cars back then in the 2002s, the 510s, they're small. They're known for having these high revving NA engines, not a ton of power because that was just the time. I mean, for the time they were fast, but you know, modern standards, 200 horsepower is not a lot.
Yeah.
But so I think this still looks like, I mean, it's got jewelry and it's so like luxurious looking inside. And then
but if you said it was 300 horsepower, you go, yeah, okay, cool. You know, it's got.
If you said 400, everyone would go, that's sure.
Yeah,
and that would
double
still justify.
double what the original one had. You know, it probably would be NA with like ITBs or something, and you know, it would sound.
It'd be kind of awesome like that, by the way.
Well, if it had an S54 in it, you know, it would also be sick.
Yeah.
You know, but this engine is a 2.8 liter V6 sequential turbos. This crazy looking airbox that has windows into the ITBs. And then this, you know, it's got 3 drive modes, which are very distinct, 350, 450, and 670 horsepower. And the 670 one, you know, and like the Porsche 959, if you saw that video we made, there's first turbo and then there's second turbo, and they are not the same. First turbo is 0 to 4,000. Second turbo is 4,000 to redline. And second turbo in full kill mode is bananas. Bananas.
It's fun chasing you because it squats.
Yeah.
It shoots tons of stuff out the exhaust. Not like a problematic amount. Like it's just, you know, there's fuel and carbon, and it just goes.
So there's, and you know what? It's geared fucking short.
It's geared great.
Geared really short. It's geared for back roads, you know, but on the highway, and the speedometer didn't quite work yet, so I don't actually know how fast we were going. I literally couldn't tell you. No fucking clue. My guess is, you know, at a normal highway speed, the same speed as all the other cars, let's call it 70. You're turning like 4,000 RPM in top gear. Like, it's not exactly a relaxed GT experience. And what's funny is with this much power, you could easily, I mean, maybe other clients might opt for
do a tall 6
might
gear,
opt for a longer final drive or a
Yeah.
longer 6 gear. I mean, I don't know what level of customization the gear ratios are, but even if it had a substantially longer final drive, it would still be insanely fucking fast.
Yeah, because the 550 gearbox, that car has tall gearing.
Yeah.
But these, back in the day, the GTVs had shorter gearing. That's like part of what separated them, you know, for the sporting cars and the track cars.
Yeah. But this thing, dude, when you put it in, when you drop a gear to 5th on the highway, first off, you don't. The idea that you need to drop a gear on the highway is laughable, because if you roll into it in top gear, the acceleration is shocking. Shocking. You can't believe how hard it's pulling in 6th gear. Part of that is the short gearing, but also
It
the
has
power.
Hellcat horsepower, and it weighs 1,000 pounds less.
Yeah.
And it has probably shorter gearing.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about that. This basically, you know, 30 horsepower shy, fine.
Yeah.
It has Hellcat horsepower, and it's a tiny car.
Dude, my friend Mike was in town from out of town. He's the best, and he loves cars. He loves motorcycles, but he doesn't really know about like fast the way that we do. And I fucking dropped the hammer in 5th gear on the highway, and he looked over at me and he went, "What the fuck?" Because you're in a tiny little Alfa Romeo that isn't, and you're pulling like a McLaren.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck indeed? It's absolutely bananas how fast this car is. It's like almost dangerous.
It almost feels out of character for the car. Like, I drove it around in middle power most of the time.
Which is lovely.
Video.
450 is real nice. Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah.
Fast, and it shot out of corners, and it was fantastic. Like,
That's
I
pretty
wanted
much
for
only
nothing.
first turbo. I think the way, I don't know how
And it
they
shuts
do
off.
that, but I think it doesn't really fire the second turbo the same way.
I don't know, but I mean, and that felt like a rowdy kind of thing for this. And the fact that there's like, ours goes to 11 and it adds 200 plus horsepower is so crazy.
Yeah, the little flick of the switch on the steering wheels. I mean, look, if the picture still, has this picture been up the entire time?
No, I went back and now I'm back.
Okay, but this interior, like the designer of the outside is beautiful, but when you're sitting in this car, and I spent all morning sitting in this car, that is a fucking place to be.
Yep.
That is the place to be. You have the sort of jewelry of almost a Pagani, not quite Pagani, but like...
There's less metal, but I actually think that's fine.
Yeah. No, Pagani is like steampunk.
Yeah, Pagani and Spiker, it's like we put metal underneath the dash.
Yeah. This is the perfect balance of bright work, leather, houndstooth, and visible carbon weave.
Yeah.
And the steering wheel is great. The little buttons, the knobs. So on the left is the start button, and then the middle two on either side of the 6 o'clock spoke are the knobs to adjust the shocks. 5 modes for each front and rear. I feel like that's an opportunity for the driver to like really fuck that up.
At least it's only 5, and it's not under the car. Because some.
Did you play? Did you find a setting that you liked?
No, I mean, I said it felt too soft. We can get to that, but I was like, I'll switch it to full hard, and it was already there. And I definitely didn't want it to be softer on the section of road I was on, so I did not play with it.
Yeah, I found it to be in middle. Call it 3 on each. It was really good on the highway. I tried full soft, and it was really bouncy. Like it just had no damper. It I guess it just turns the damper off entirely or mostly off. And I was like, okay, not that. And then full hard on the Canyon was pretty good. Like I don't think
not too stiff. Sorry.
No. I don't think it was too stiff.
Yeah, I was actually shocked like that it has those 5 settings, but 5 almost felt like where the middle could be, and it would have been totally appropriate for canyon driving. There's still a lot of dive, a lot of pitch.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll talk about there's a little too much in some ways.
Yeah. But, gated Ferrari gearbox, very nice. The engine, I mean, on top of making a bunch of power, it sounds and feels like the kind of engine you would normally find in like a prototype race car. It just the way it fires, the way it idles at 1400 RPM, it feels like it doesn't have a flywheel at all. I mean, it revs up like a bike or like the 911 ST, and in the same way where it has no inertia of its own. Like when you're cruising around and you're upshifting, with a gated gearbox, you don't really shift that fast.
Yeah.
Even you can shift fast if you're really trying to violently rip it, but most of the time it's like click, 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 click. It's like a flow. It's like that's the thing. And it has so little flywheel that you have to feather it in between upshifts. Otherwise, the engine just completely dies and it's like jerky. But when if you don't feather it right, it sounds almost like the engine turns off. It's like...
Auto stop start.
Yeah, it sounds like it's doing an auto stop start because it drops revs so fast it just goes away. Crazy stuff.
I gotta say, I was very impressed with how the engine sounds, how good it sounds for a 90-degree V6. It's a 2.8 liter, and as we've said, the smaller the V6, usually the better it sounds.
Yeah.
But 90-degree V6, it's still not easy to make it sound good or interesting. And from in the car and outside the car, 2 distinct sounds.
Yeah,
I like both of them.
Very distinct. I think the outside the car sound is a little more consistent, and the inside the car sound, the engine sounds really smooth, but then there's a point in the middle from like 4,000 to 6,000 RPM where it gets a little like vibrate-y.
It shakes something.
And then shakes something, and then it goes kind of away at the top again. Like whatever happens in that middle there is like the V6 curse. Like you just can't.
The harmonics.
There's no way to build a V6 that can escape the curse of the mid-range vibrations.
I think it's like this is why planes shouldn't be made out of carbon fibers. Like eventually it cracks them apart.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say this car is going to fall apart.
No.
There's a funny vibration that happens, and like a Zeusk fitting is letting go and somewhere in the armrest. But it sounds like you get some turbo sound, but not huge wastegate inside the car. From outside, when you went by during the drive-bys, it sounds like a really small NA engine. I don't hear, versus like the roof we drove,
which is a lot of turbo
last week. when you're coming towards me, it was just air. It was
Yeah.
just, that's all I heard. And then you go past and I hear exhaust sound. But this thing, coming in and going,
Yeah.
it had great intake and a great, like, really tight, like, precise, like, engine whir to it that I really liked.
Tight is it feels, I mean, especially like this company's like brand new. This is their first product, and this is one of their first cars. I think the key says 9 on it. I think that's probably what it is, the 9th car. Like, pretty shockingly well made.
Yeah.
For a company's 9th car. I mean, we've seen personally companies that have made more cars than this that really claim to give a fuck about build quality, but like they don't get near this.
True. So I don't know if they are not as obsessed as this CEO and their team, or if it's a supplier thing. Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's all their own switches, and they make their own steering wheel, and they're almost apologetic about the fact that they have to use a Ferrari gearbox. Like, ew, a Ferrari gearbox. We couldn't make our own gearbox.
That's like a future Koenigsegg. That's a future Christian von Koenigsegg, where you want to make everything, and you're fairly new, and you go, sorry, we had to use our gearbox, and the whole world goes, that's fine. Yeah. Everyone does that. But
the dude Ricardo, who started this company, was at Alfa Romeo during the Stellantis time, and like it made him depressed, and he left and built this instead. Started a company and built this, and did such a good job of it that Alfa Romeo does not give 2 shits that their name is on this. It's like nicer than anything they're making right now.
What do you mean the minivan switch is going to go in a sports car?
Yeah.
Why?
So, I mean, just really, really fucking cool. Okay, but and I got an asterisk on it this morning. I talked to Ricardo on the phone. And he said, "Look, every one of these things is tailor made to the client. This is supposed to be a tailor made program." So he says, this car has not been delivered to the client yet. And so what happens is it gets delivered to the client, and then we come to the client and we drive with them, and we ask them how they like to drive and what they, and we set the car up for them. He said, everything in the car is the default setting. He said, but the alignment, the shock tuning, all the differential, he said all of these things, the throttle response, he said they fine tune to the customer after they take delivery, which is where this car is going after us. He also said the customer personally requested this car doesn't have a dead pedal, which is a weird request. I heart a dead pedal, and Myers-Manx now makes a fucking dead pedal because of me. And but it was fine. It wasn't actually something in this car that I found problematic, but he wanted to point out that.
I like the pedal box on both sides had a lot of room, which I really
it was fine.
liked.
It was
felt
good.
very open. It was leather, and then there's just 3 pedals there.
Yeah. It's a little, okay, so points against.
Yeah.
Point against number 1. On the highway with the windows closed, there's a lot of wind noise, like leaking wind noise. Like it's a fabulous thing with the windows down on PCH or in a Canyon, but like it's comfortable enough. The seat, which is a Subelt seat, like it's basically a Ferrari seat. It's like the supplier for the Puro Sangue seat, just like putting this on instead of it. It's that same seat, which is great. It's super comfortable, super roomy. The seating position is fabulous, but it's real loud on the highway. Tire noise, high revs, wind noise, and so even though it looks like the kind of thing I'd want to like hop in and go to fucking wine country, I would not want to do that drive, which is a bummer. That's number 1. Would you like to deliver number 2? Guys, we got to take a quick break from the action because support today is coming in hot from DeleteMe. DeleteMe makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Look, data brokers are out there making a profit off of your data. That's the commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details, which leads to identity theft, phishing, and harassment. But now you can protect your privacy with DeleteMe. All you have to do, right, is sign up for DeleteMe, and you give them all the information that you want to be kept off of the data broker websites, right? And then they scour those websites over and over, finding that information, requesting that it's taken down, deleting it themselves, and on and on. Then they send you a report saying how they did, what they found, what was taken away, what you have to step in and address. And they do that every month in an ongoing basis because DeleteMe is not a one-time deal. It's a service that keeps going. So I signed up for it and I gave them all the information. And the first month they found like 1,100 issues of my data. And then the next month it was 300 and then 200. And now it's like 150 each month. I guess that's kind of the baseline. But you can do it too. And the number of spam calls and texts and things that I've gotten has dropped way down. So take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for DeleteMe now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your DeleteMe plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/tire. That's TIRE. Joindeleteme.com/tire and enter promo code TIRE at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/tire and enter code TIRE at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/tire, code TIRE. We are also brought to you today by HelloFresh. I love me some HelloFresh because I like to cook. I really like to cook, and HelloFresh helps me indulge my cooking sensibilities. They send chef-crafted recipes and fresh ingredients to your home. This summer, they've made their biggest menu upgrade yet. This isn't the HelloFresh you remember. It's bigger. HelloFresh has doubled its menu. Now you can choose from 100 options each week, including new seasonal dishes and recipes from around the world. Dig into bigger portions that'll keep everyone satisfied. It's also healthier. There's an even healthier menu filled with high protein and veggie-packed recipes. HelloFresh now helps you eat greener with new veggie-packed recipes that have 2 or more veggies, and it's tastier. Get steak and seafood recipes delivered every week for no extra cost. There's 3 times more seafood on the menu now at no extra cost. New seasonal produce each week, from snap peas to stone fruit to corn on the cob and more. Again, I like HelloFresh because I like to cook, but I don't like shopping. I don't like trying to come up with new things to cook, and I don't like waste. And HelloFresh cuts down on all those things. You choose interesting recipes from their site. They deliver you exactly the right amount of ingredients you need to make the recipe. That way there's no food waste, and they keep it coming, and I keep the recipe cards for later so that if I want to make this meal again for a bigger serving, for a party or something, I have it. It's awesome. So the best way to cook has gotten better. Go to hellofresh.com/ ready? Smoking Tire 10FM. HelloFresh.com/Smoking Tire 10FM to get 10 free meals and a free item for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. HelloFresh.com/Smoking Tire 10FM to get 10 free meals and a free item for life. And now, back to the show.
Sure.
No, I already texted Ricardo about it, by the way.
Okay.
So,
well, there's a lot of tire rub.
Yeah.
A lot of tire rub. Like a surprising amount front and rear. When you came back
considering the photo is accurate to the ride height of the car. Like, it's not like this thing is like super slammed.
Not dropped. I mean, there's definitely a couple inches of dead cat space on that front wheel above the front tire.
Please don't use that term.
Oh, that's
Makes
a good
me
point.
sad.
I learned that from Dan Neal, but that's a great point. There's a lot of, there's a couple inches of space between the tire and the fender lip. And it was weird. Like, there were some compressions on this road, but nothing drastic. I mean, it was just shocking in a car that costs this much and has suspension that is very expensive.
It didn't
that it would
only
have that
rub,
problem.
too, on compressions. It rubbed in hard, constant radius corners.
And it rubbed front tires and back tires. Because you came back once and I said, I can see the line on the rear tire. Here's where it's rubbing. And you're like, well, I heard it in the front. And I think, honestly, look, this has the same coilover supplier as the T50, which we know is sprung kind of soft, which is what made it float over all of the imperfections in the roads. So maybe these tires are just like, a tiny bit too wide.
Maybe.
I mean, the rear tires, when you look at them, it looks like as it comes up in the travel, it's just going to hit the fender. It just you go, is it?
Was
really
it was hitting on the outer? I didn't actually.
It was hitting
look
on the
that
outer
way.
side.
Yeah.
So, and it looks like it's going to hit. And sometimes cars will fool you where you go, there's no way that fits, and the arc of travel is fine. I think it's just a tiny bit too wide because I don't know if I want it to be too stiff, where then it doesn't have that wonderful back row float.
I don't want it to not have the ride. I'd rather give up the grip.
The section. And these are Pilot Sport Cup 2s.
Yeah, they're sticky.
They're sticky.
Actually, I think, dude, soon if you make this car into rally spec, some narrower tires, some all seasons, a couple extra inches on the ride quality, fucking tarmac rally spec, this would be
very fun.
The jam of jams.
Yeah, that's a lot of power for tarmac rally.
You detune it. You would absolutely
go 450. You just
I would detune it and lengthen the final drive like a little bit, and it would be glorious. If you geared out second gear to like 60,
What does second gear go to now?
Fucking nothing. This car, the first 3 gears are so short in this car. I didn't go to red line in all 3. First is like nothing. First is like 12.
I could use a small shift light. I'm not going to lie to you. It runs at 7,500 and it's so smooth.
It does.
I got close and it didn't seem bothered at all. And I think you can opt for an even more powerful engine that goes to like 8,500. So maybe it's...
They have a fucking more powerful version
One
of it?
thing I read
they
said
did?
that, yeah.
No, they did have a crazy power kit on this.
Yeah.
It comes with, if you get the one we saw at Quail, the super light carbon, like crazy racy one that looks like a Gunther version of like a Gunther Works version of this, which looks crazy, but I'm glad we were driving the one we were driving.
So am I.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing the other one at Motorlux.
Yeah.
And I mean, no disrespect, like I kind of walked past it and I was like, oh, that's just too much. Because I think the shape of the stock cars, the original cars, is like one of the best.
Yeah.
But this blue one
This is the jam.
is great. They did it just perfectly.
Dude, the other one they had at Quail was the one that had to me an even better interior than this one because it had this wild red. Instead of this houndstooth, it had this red with flowers pattern, and then the gear shift knob was
Lucite?
No, Murano glass from Venice. Like that glass thing I got brought back from Venice, from Italy. It's that, but with a flower inside of it, and it's the fucking shift. It's awesome.
That's like what a Hitman would drive.
It was so sick.
That's what that is.
Yeah, Tommy the Flowers.
Yeah,
coming
exactly.
For you.
Like the highest paid Hitman coming back for one more job.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fucking Guy Ritchie character.
It is, yeah.
It was unreal. I was like, I have a photo of it somewhere, but it's crazy. But
so we should talk about the second.
No,
problem.
the other bad thing.
The other bad thing.
Yeah. So, they make their own steering rack and they make their own steering shaft. And they, in this video I saw with Henry Catchpole, which is a cool video, worth checking out. There's actually not a lot of coverage of this car. Not many people have driven it at all, and so it's very not privileged that we get to do it. But in researching, about the car, there wasn't all that much. So the Henry's video is really cool. It's got a video with an interview with Ricardo, and he shows all these different parts, and they're bragging about one of the things they make themselves is the steering. Okay, but the steering is kind of weird.
Yes,
and so. Tell me if I'm accurately describing this. From 5 degrees or so from center, either direction, if you turn it to sort of go through a little bit of a bend in the road, and then it doesn't self-center from there. It stays at that 5 degrees until you actively tug it back to center. And if you have to go from 5 degrees right to 5 degrees left, or from 5 degrees left to 5 degrees right, you have to do a really hard tug to tug it past center. And then, if you're going from center to 5 degrees right to 10 degrees right to 15 to 20 to 25, the amount of direction change is not constant in that input.
Yeah, it's basically like there's a multiplier when you turn the wheel from 0 to 5 degrees, the front of the car moves more than you were expecting. It is the inverse of of any other progressive rack I think I've experienced. But then once you're at that 5 degrees and beyond, it's a little bit more steady state.
Yeah.
And so it's very reactive right off center. Most cars aren't. but also with that magnification thing, and then it slows down.
And then on top of that, it doesn't self-center.
Yeah.
So the closest comparison I can make is two cars. One is a home-built drift car I drove once that had an angle kit on it. And it's like that, but it doesn't have the angle. Or when I first got the Safari 911 back from Lee Keen, and I had them put BF Goodrich KO2s on it, which I got for free from somewhere. And they were the wrong tire for that car. Guys, we got to take a break from the show because Mudwater is here. Listen, here's the thing. Mudwater is a new thing, okay? Their OG blend. It's a mix of cacao, chai, turmeric, and adaptogenic mushrooms to help you feel focused without the crash. So this is my thing. I've had an issue with caffeine. It gives me panic attacks. I've been drinking decaf coffee, but I really kind of wish I could get a little more energy, a little more focused at work, and I'm not trying to do caffeinated coffee. So Mudwater, this could be the thing. It's great over ice. You just mix it with a little cold water or a little milk. You shake it up, pour it over ice, and boom, you've got a refreshing, feel-good boost that helps you stay balanced. Every single ingredient in Mudwater products are 100% certified organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher. There's also no sugar or sweeteners added. All you do is drop the powder into your favorite mug, pour some water on it, and give it a mix. Some go wild and add creamer, honey, CBD oil. And the best part about Mudwater is it provides a sustained energy without the spikes and crash of traditional coffee. And there are caffeine-free blends available, which is what I tried. Each ingredient in Mudwater serves a purpose. The OG blend contains cacao and chai for a hint of caffeine and hot chocolate-like flavor, lion's mane for focus, cordyceps to promote natural energy, and both chaga and reishi to support a healthy immune system. The matcha starter kit is a perfect way to step into clean energy. The turmeric starter kit blends radiant ginger, turmeric, and rooibos chai. I actually really like rooibos chai. That's a really good one. And the rest starter kit is for relaxing and unwinding at the end of the day. Mudwater is available at Target and Sprouts, so it's never been easier to grab a cup of this friendly pick-me-up. Head over to MudWtr.com, MudWtr.com, and grab a starter kit today. And right now, our listeners get an exclusive deal up to 43% off your entire order, plus free shipping and a free rechargeable frother when you use code TIRE. That's right, up to 43% off with code TIRE at MudWtr.com. After you purchase, they'll ask how you found them. Show your support. Let them know we sent you. Keep your energy natural and refreshing all year long with Mudwater, because life's too short for anything less than clean, delicious energy. And now, back to the show. A lot of work. They have really square sidewalls, and they made the wheel. I don't know if they made the wheel, but the steering did that on that car. Eventually, when I put the Blizzak snow tires on it, it kind of went away. So it might be a wheel and tire size or thing set up. I don't know. But that's the only other cars I've driven that have felt like this.
Well, another one that was close we talked about, but it's worse, is the Cyan Racing P1800 reimagination thing. Also a carbon fiber car. And we drove that car, and it had some of the worst steering I've ever experienced at any price point. And I got home, and I was so bothered by it because my dad used to have a P1800. I was like, what's going on here? And it turns out the P1800 has like almost zero caster to the steering, and that means it self-centers very little. And so we were up here driving this thing today, and we're going, oh, maybe it doesn't have that much caster.
Yeah.
Now I admit, we are not chassis engineers. If someone's listening, and you want to chime in the comments, like, is this an alignment thing? Does it have too much toe out, maybe? And like drift cars have toe out. And so does it have too much toe out, or can you adjust the caster on this? It was just strange that I thought the sensations coming through the steering wheel once you're in a corner were pretty good. Like, not the most communicative thing in the world, but like on par with any decent e-pass system.
Sure.
This is assisted. But it was that off-center thing that was just strange. And I don't know what does it. What causes it.
It was a little disconcerting, and it also happened a couple of times when I was just cruising. You know, I was just cruising and, you know, kind of one hand on the wheel, a little more relaxed. And the wheels, you know, the fronts caught something in the road and it got a big jerk, like a big direction change. And just, you know, the front tires aren't that wide.
They're not.
I don't think they're wider than like a 255 or 265. They're certainly not anything that would cause a problem. And again, to go back to what Ricardo said on the phone, you know, this car hasn't been set up yet. So this might have a very wonky alignment in it that could be causing a problem. I also found that the alignment of the car did seem to change during compressions. You
like
know,
bump steer?
Yeah. Okay. So, not like on the bump stop, but it just like if you did a compression, like you would have to adjust for that. It would turn in harder when compressed.
It was, you know, I chased you for a car-to-car in the Aston Vantage, the convertible we have right now. And I got in that, and I just felt immediately more comfortable at speed because it had none of these things. I mean, it's a bigger car. It's like it's a modern car, all that stuff.
Like,
but just to compare.
Yeah. Well, the Alfa is insanely fast in a straight line. Yeah. But it's actually, they're both cars are 670 horsepower, interestingly enough.
The Alfa weighs
a lot less.
800 pounds less?
Yeah, but in the corners, you can go way quicker in the Aston than you can in this particular car as it's set up.
True.
And the last thing is the brake pedal is quite soft, and I never quite, in Henry's video, and Henry drove this car, he said the brake pedal was soft, but that it eventually did bite enough. Now, he might be being kind, or he might not have been braking in down hills, or it's maybe not as hot. I don't know. But I never quite found enough brake, even though for the level of, you know, if you put the thing on kill mode, you're entering corners hot.
Yeah.
And so it was different when there wasn't enough brake for kill mode. There's enough brake for medium 450 horsepower mode. And I also wanted a firmer pedal. Because like you said earlier, I forgot if you said it to this microphone or just to me outside, when you press the pedal down hard enough to slow for the corner, your foot is too far down to effectively heel toe.
Yeah.
Which is mildly annoying.
There were a couple times where I nailed it, but I had to really angle my knee, and it was just a little uncomfortable. So I think if you could move the pedal bite up, as a lot of great sports cars do, it's almost like when you brake gently, you're too high above the gas pedal to heel toe.
Right.
But when you're driving fast, it lands right there.
Yeah.
So this one, your brake foot is too low. Let's call it.
Like I didn't notice this problem until we got to the canyon. When I was puttering around town this morning, because I still drive like that always, it was fine. Sure. It was only when I started having to hit the pedal hard. Yeah. So it must have been on Monterey Car Week setting, you know. Yeah. But I asked them, you know, in my punch list for the Manx as well, I asked them to do the same thing with the brake pedal. This car clearly has enough hardware to slow down. It's not that, but the pedal is too low, and I can't get my foot back here the right way. I said, bring the pedal up, have the bite come up like 2 more inches. So at medium braking, it's firm.
Yeah,
yeah.
I hope it's adjustable because it's got big Brembos on it.
Well, they've really got all the like we've just spent a few minutes criticizing this thing in ways that like could be considered like mission critical, but none of those issues are not repairable. Like this isn't a piece of junk. This is an amazing piece of fucking artwork.
Yes.
That just needs like a proper, I think, setup to drive right. I hope they can just move some bolts and adjust some things. Yeah. And that would be great.
But
like it looks amazing, it sounds amazing, it's comfortable, it rides good. It behaved itself. I mean, it has the same electric air conditioner, I think, as the roof CTRs, which like sort of sucks.
Yeah.
Even Ricardo was like, it's the best one you can buy, and it's not very good.
Yeah, it's not.
So we really didn't have much AC, but you know, 620,000 euros plus whatever the fucking tariff is.
Oh,
right, because that's 100% built in Italy. I
think the only thing it's not is the battery.
Yeah.
Like an ECU or something like that.
And it's a really, really, I can really see the appeal versus, you know, a quote mainstream exotic. You know, if you've already had a mainstream exotic and you go, you know, these are getting more computerized, more electronic, and I don't know if I'm into it anymore. Like this is going to be the shit. Like this is like an opportunity for new companies like Chimera, you know, people that are reimagining, but also maybe people that are building something newish.
Well, also, I mean, you know, Singer led the charge, at least in the modern era, for this. And a lot of companies have followed suit with 911s.
Yeah.
There are so many reimaginings of 911s, and it's nice to see something for like the Italian crowd. And I know that Alphaholics is out there. Like there's a couple companies that do. There's a company that has made the 355. What's their name's escaping me? Evoluto. Like I like that it's happening because, you know, we love these cars, and some of them the performance isn't up to modern standards, or you want to have something that's different from the other ones that are around. And I just think this is a exceptionally well done homage or tribute to something like this. And to change the design of this car, I think, is such like a delicate thing. You know, it's like diffusing a nuclear bomb. It's like, well, you get a line wrong, people are going to get real mad. But they did a great job. Yeah,
it doesn't have a bad angle for sure, and it sounds crazy, and people seem to really dig it, those who understand what it is. But it also, you know, if people don't really know what it is, it's not necessarily, you know, super obnoxious and in your face. You know, there's not everybody wants to, as I learned when we were at Singer, because I was like, you know, I'm guessing because people, you know, want to spend their money without showing off to the world that they've got money because maybe they feel a little guilty about it, or maybe they're not flashy people or whatever. But you know, a lot of people are not comfortable driving around in a mainstream exotic, and so they're talking about, you know, they say, you, Matt Farah, you can tell the difference between an '87 Carrera and a Singer Turbo from half a mile away. Most people do not distinguish the two, really.
True.
And so if they get a dark blue or a black or a silver one, you know, they can just drive that around, you know, pretty invisibly.
Yeah.
And I think this car is sort of the same in that regard. I mean, it's definitely a little louder and a little more styled than the Singer Turbo. It doesn't blend as well, but, you know, you get it in a subtle color, and it's not like a screaming yellow, you know, Revuelto, you know, or something like that.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's a good point.
It's definitely classy.
Very classy. Very classy.
But
God, this color is good too.
The color combo is great. Yeah, I really, really like it. I mean, I totally get it. I hope that the things that we don't like about it can be fixed, because the rest of it is like very full of promise.
Yeah.
You know what I'd like to see him do? The fucking the Spider.
Oh, like his. Was it Spider 2000?
Yeah, like the 80s, 70s, and 80s Alfa. I mean, if he did this styling and powertrain treatment to the Spider, that would be crazy, because they're even smaller. That's like, you know, maybe you do like have them do the 4-cylinder version of this engine or something.
I would like them to do that, and I want it to happen after Thomas and James of Thrall House have been doing like 5 seasons of Amazon, and I want to see Thomas drive it and watch him try not to buy one, because he has an original one.
Yeah,
and I just want to watch his brain, like him, like this is financial.
It would be. I mean, this is one of those cars. I posted this picture on Instagram, and the texts I got within 10 minutes, I got texts from 3 very wealthy friends that are like, is it the shit? Is it the shit? Should I? And I was like, well, you know, you better, you know, wait and see if they can fix a couple of things. But like, you know, this is kind of the shit. It's kind of where it's at.
Yeah. It's drivable art, but I think once you get to a certain price point, and when you're this close dynamically, that we want to try and help them refine that and make it perfect. Cause
no, like this dude has talked about wanting to make a perfect car. Like he's openly been like, I want to make a perfect car. So like, okay, here's what you could do to this to make it a perfect car. Mm-hmm. Those are not big things. Like those are pretty small things.
I hope so. As long as it's not. I think the problem with
2 of them are very small, ride height and or wheel size, so it doesn't rub.
Yeah.
And wind noise. I mean,
Yes.
I know that's easier said than done, but that's a solvable problem
with enough caulking. You can fix that problem.
That's a solvable problem.
Yeah.
If you cared about it. Maybe you don't. If you do. The other one might be a little harder, but it's not like terminal
Hopefully
by
not.
any means.
It's a pickup point. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully just...
Someone who's very smart with suspensions will be able to fix that.
Yeah.
It's just not me. I can just tell you it's broken, not how to fix it.
Yeah.
It's not I don't want to say broken. It's just like, that ain't right.
Yeah.
Not for $600.
Yeah.
Not for six. For $150, you know, if that's what you want to do. If you're trying to do like a little budget version of it, I'll put up with a few things, but not for $600. $600 better be. Yes. But nevertheless, I mean, nice job.
Nice job.
That's all right. It's been a day. Our weekend. It's been a weekend.
We've had a week.
Yeah.
2 cars in a week that are like, here's a carbon tubbed, you know,
Yeah, like
unobtanium
yeah.
that you'll never see. And
Yeah.
then next week, here's another one.
Well, and yeah, here's the craziest possible version of the thing you've already, tried.
Yeah.
Because remember we drove the GTV at
Velocity.
at Velocity. That was a good time.
It was.
Yeah, I think that was probably the most fun car I drove that day.
I think that's
Drove. I got a ride in the 250 GTO, but I
Yeah,
but,
I know.
but, yeah.
I think that's the only car I drove that day. So I'm like, well, but it was fun, and I was excited.
It was more fun than the
Mustang?
The Mustang.
Oh.
Definitely more fun than the Mustang. Wow. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was more fun than the Minis, and that was most fun.
So I think the Mustang you drove, they ran at the Laguna Seca Vintage Trans Am races like this past car week.
Probably.
So it's just crazy to watch
It was
that
a
go
real
through
car.
the corkscrew.
Yeah.
Would
It was a real
would you have
Parnelli
wanted-
Jones car.
I know. Would you have wanted to, be in that race, or you're like that's not even fun to drive even at that kind of speed?
I mean, I really would have needed a lot more practice with that car. That car was really hard to drive, and you'd have to be really comfortable, like going to first gear in hairpins, which is not something I'm used to at all.
Yeah.
Because that car had absolutely no balls below 5. It was 5,000 to 8,000 RPM is what it had in 4 gears and fucking no brakes and no power steering. It just like it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was a real handful.
And it's fast, right?
It was
coming over turn 1 in Laguna.
And it had no brakes. Terrible brakes. So I don't know if it was for me. The Alfa, I'd fucking dice it up in one of them for sure.
It's funny that fitting for this conversation, I think this past weekend, Maz and Jensen raced
An Alfa. Yeah.
Junior. And then also Harris was at Silverstone racing his friend's crazy built 66 Mustang coupe race car.
It's all going backwards.
They have they are, but they have totally different sounds, and they're probably different, there's some overlap, like the old car thing, but one is big V8 and one is tiny inline 4. Good times.
I had to tell you a kind of an awesome story. It's going to be a little bit of a name drop, but I have to tell you, it's too funny. So I took Mike. I wanted to show him all the California things. Mm-hmm. I'm tired because it's been a fucking weekend. So Friday he came up with us to shoot the roof, and then we had a barbecue in the afternoon. Saturday we got motorcycles. He rented one, and I got the BMW R9T, R12 9T. Boy. And we went motorcycling, 6 hours of motorcycling, and then went to Korean barbecue, and then it was fucking awesome. And then last night, or yesterday, Sunday, we fucking took the pink car up to Malibu. I showed him all the spots. Showed him the road we were on this morning. Mm-hmm. I went out there real early with him, and I fucking hit it in that car, and he was like, "I can't believe that you actually built the perfect machine, like the perfect tool for this activity." He's like, he understood. He was like, "This is the perfect thing for this thing."
Cool.
I was like, "Yes." But we went to Old Place, and Tommy and Jeff, shout out to Tradecraft Farms, old sponsor, Ganja Boys, were there with Ryan Friedman Motor Cars, shout out to him, car dealer from Florida, I think, but he was in town, and they're with fucking Adam Levine from Maroon 5, right? And I don't notice at first because I'm distracted because there's a roof RT12 right there. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I remember Tommy from Tradecraft telling me that he had bought some old roof, and I didn't know what it was, and I thought it was his. and it was parked kind of fucking fakakta, and it was real busy. And I see Tommy, and I go, hey, I'm rolling around. There's no parking. But I go, hey, Tommy, what up? You're fucking parking like a dick bag over here. There's no room for the rest of us. And I fucking zip out and have to go park across the street in the fucking loser lot, right? So I walk back, and Tommy comes up to me. He goes, yo, that's not my car. That's fucking Adam Levine's new car. He just bought it from Ryan. He parked it like that. I was like, oops.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah.
But then, you know, I walk up, I say hello, introduce myself, you know, whatever. And Adam is there with his wife, whose name is Bahati Prinsloo, who is a Victoria's Secret angel. And she is as expected. Let's just say that. And she goes, are you the one with the pink car? And I go, yes, I am. And she goes, that is awesome. And I go, you see? You see? And I look at Adam and I go, you bought the wrong color, my friend, because his shit's black.
That's funny.
And she wants to know all about the color. And later, Ganja Jeff texts me. He's like, yo, dude, your shit is the right color. He's like, I saw that happen, and that is and a bunch of dudes, supermodel. And she's like, was that you? Bravo, Farah. May I remind you, that was a free color.
Right, that's the funny thing. It's like, no, everyone walks past it. But what you've done is you've injected a little bit of like the Morgan Manx energy, which is very disarming, in a color form. You distilled it, and then you put it on a sports car. Because your car could be, most people would be like, I'm going to get it like carbon gray and look tactical. Because like, I need everyone to know my car fucks.
You got to go the other way. Yeah. And the girls are like, I love it. They don't give a shit about the engine.
No.
You can't see it.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But it looks good.
And then I fucking checked the date codes on Adam Levine's tires. And I was like, you got to replace these the rears this year.
He's like, who's this guy? Get this guy out of here.
No, he was cool. He was actually, I respect to Adam Levine and Bahati Prinsloo. They were absolutely lovely, and we fucking bullshitted for a little bit. They were all right. And he's a fucking jokester. We then went down to Scott's to get breakfast, and they rolled up, and Adam Levine walks to the porch and fucking rolls up to me and he goes, big fan, bro! And I'm like, oh, shit.
That's a good joke.
That's a good
That's
fucking...
good. Because you told him, like, oh, I do YouTube shit. And
no, someone else did.
Someone had done
Someone
that.
else did, but like, it's pretty funny.
All right.
It was a fun
He was doing a
morning.
callback.
He was doing a good bit.
Yeah.
It was good. And I got Mike to eat pluots, which is important. He was like, what the fuck is this? Which is important.
It's science. It's amazing.
Yeah. Your 13% does get you things here in California.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. If you go to plot in the East Coast, it's going to be terrible.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Should we talk about, do you want to talk about the van? Do you want to talk about the Aston? I mean, you had a little go in it. Do you care?
The only different, I drove the coupe on the launch.
Yeah.
So this feels great. It's comfortable and all those things. But I hate the cruise control controls.
Oh.
The little, the rolly thing feels undersprung, so I feel like I'm overspinning it, but it also doesn't react as quickly as I spin it.
The scrolly wheel?
The scrolly wheel to go, 62, 63, 64. It's like it takes 2 clicks for each miles per hour, but then it jumps 5.
Oh.
But
I didn't use it at all yet. I'll have to try it. Okay.
I didn't use it when I drove it in Spain because we were on the track and stuff. So that's my only interaction.
Sure.
But otherwise, it's a very comfortable, very fast, very planted car.
The Vantage Roadsters are always excellent. They're always like a little better than the coupes because they come out later and they get some updates and stuff like that. Like the suspension tuning on this is really good. It's fast.
Very fast.
It's really, really fast.
The coupe was crazy fast too.
Yeah. CarPlay
I'm
still
impressed.
sucks.
CarPlay sucks. The trunk is good though.
Trunk's good for a convertible, and the top goes
cases.
up and down in 7 seconds, which means you can put the top up and down like all the time. Like a convertible top that's clunky and takes forever means you'll use it less.
Yep.
Like you could put this down up and down multiple times on the same drive, which I think is great for a convertible top.
If you live in Florida where it rains and then it doesn't rain and it rains, But fantastic car.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like it. I like it better than I liked the Vanquish, even though the Vanquish is like prettier and faster. I think the Vantage is a little more compact. You get the same amount of really usable space in a smaller package. It doesn't scrape everywhere, and I think the ride is a little better of the Vantage, and it's $150,000 less.
It's
all
a lot
good.
of car.
Yeah,
it's a good
ton
car.
of car.
Yeah.
Ton of car.
That's what I would say about it.
So that was fun, and I'm going to do an Instagram review of the Vantage, and we have a video review of the Vanquish coming this week, next week, whenever this next week, yeah. You want to talk about the van?
Yeah.
I saw this yesterday. I'm on board. I don't know about you, Klapman, but Chrysler is doing a lifted overlandy Pacifica, and I'm fucking down. I'm in.
They did a concept, so are they going to make it? I think that's the question. But I am here for it. It's also a way because Chrysler sells 2 cars right now. Are they both Pacificas? It's like hybrid and
the Pacifica
not.
and the Pacifica hybrid.
Right.
Yes.
So now they have the Pacifica Overland. So now they have a third model, let's call it.
It's just high Pacifica. It's not hybrid. It's,
I like that.
Yeah. I'm pro Pacifica as long as it's not a hybrid. The hybrids have been really rough.
Yes.
They've been not good. But the new Pacificas that we've rented from Enterprise have been awesome. The gas ones. And I really like the idea of a slightly lifted Pacifica Outback. Like, I don't really want to go super overlandy on it, but I like ground clearance. That's a fun vibe to me.
I agree. I think camping in a minivan, especially when you put a bunch of stuff and people in it, the ground clearance drops real quick. And then getting into that campground, it's basically a car.
For instance, if you have a Previa.
Right.
It's going to be problematic.
That's what it sounds like. Kunkada. Put that on a T-shirt. So this makes a lot of sense. They're really comfortable cars. The seating, I mean, I think they're more luxurious than like an Outback or something. It's not going to do
Although,
everything
shout out
those
to
will
the
do.
Outback Wilderness. An excellent vehicle.
Road great, MMI system bad.
Okay,
But
sure, yeah.
Seats good, ride
good.
great,
Value good.
value good.
I saw a fully lifted Outback Wilderness with like kitted out in Malibu yesterday, and I was into it. It was cool.
I think it works.
Yeah, it does.
I see the lifted cross treks a lot, and I'm on board.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know they go 12 miles per hour because they don't have enough horsepower. And just trying to get those wheels rolling and all that stuff.
Tacoma owners, you know what I'm talking about.
Put a turbo on that car, Subaru. God.
It's crazy.
But this
What is the badge? Can I see the badge up close, please? Is it a bear? It's a bear.
It's a bear.
I think it's a bear. Yeah. It's kind of a sad bear. You got to step back a little bit. It's got this rollout tent. I mean, I imagine these are accessories, and it's not going to come with all that. But I do like the black lower bumper with the yellow fogs. Like, that's pretty fun. I'd like to see if there's like a skid plate, on it, anything that actually like maybe protects the undersides. But like, I'm down, right?
Yeah, I'm into it. I like the light off-roading because so many activities only require a few extra inches of ground clearance, so you don't need a Wrangler.
Right.
And I know a Wrangler could do more, but there's plenty of people that could use this for their entire life with their kids, and they'd be more comfortable, and they would be, it's quieter on the road, and would get better gas mileage than driving a Wrangler, which they go, maybe I'll off-road one day, and they don't.
Think it tows and Myers Max.
The van?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's a Pacifica's tow rating?
I have no idea.
I'll look.
Yeah, there you go. Sleeping bags in the back. The interior, I think, could use something. I need some gimmicks.
It's got orange seatbelts.
Oh,
Safety orange.
Ooh,
that
boy.
way hunters don't shoot them.
Okay, orange seatbelts. But I need some more. Oh, come on. You're not really doing white seats, are you, Chrysler? White seats on an off-road vehicle is incredibly bold. Dude. You're just gonna climb in this thing like dirty.
It's not like diapers show dirt.
White interior, Chrysler.
I feel like this is.
What are you doing?
That is weird.
That's very strange.
And the orange, we before we bought our RAV4, my wife and I, we went and looked at the Subaru dealership, and I think Forester, and you get in there, and it was a lot of like orange and black. So I'm guessing that's what Chrysler is doing, but you don't have to. There are other colors that might look better.
I don't hate orange seatbelts, but I mean a white seat, and it's not even like the whole seat is white. It's just the part you're sitting on. It's only the uppers. The lowers are all black. Like the second it gets to the part that's not touching your dirty hiking pants, it becomes black.
You should do the Willy Wonka and they go, strike that, reverse it. Yeah, make the lowers white if you would need them. Yeah, that's not good. The Pacifica tow rating is 3,600 pounds.
Oh, no shit. I could tow the Manx.
Flat tow the Manx.
What do you mean? The Manx is 1,500 pounds. I could tow it on the
trailer way.
1,200.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Great. Hell yeah. It's not a Bentley, but, what is?
Dude, Pacifica's great. Well, we drove it from Houston to Dallas. I'm in the back seat. Plenty of leg room. I got a plug. I'm running my laptop and stuff. Big fan.
Production vehicle.
Yeah.
Production vehicle. Next once the Taycan's up, I'm gonna be like, Hannah, guess what? Here's gonna be our newest tax game.
It'd be so funny when people go, oh, you guys having kids? And you go, no, just comfort.
Just loving vans.
Luxurious.
We already have one van and nobody sits in the back of it. It's just me and Hannah sitting on top of the front wheels.
Just bouncing down the road.
Bouncing down the road.
Yeah.
Front heavy.
It's a lot like driving a boat on like very lightly choppy seas.
It is. Up, it is.
Down, up.
Yeah.
Down, up, yeah.
Oh, man, the bow rider, though, and the Texas Quail rigs, when I got to do the bow riding, that's really glorious.
Did the suspension soak up, or were you shaking all over the place?
No. They go the right speed. They know. They know how it is.
It's a classy drive-by.
You're in like a chair out of like a cigarette boat. You've got a cooler. You grab a beer. Someone else is driving. It's great.
Does the seat have a spring like a cigarette boat? Like, aren't those some of those?
Oh no!
Shocks?
Oh yeah. Some like the real serious ones do have like hydraulics or suspension. This is not a suspended seat, but yeah, you're out on the bow. It's all right. Should we go to the people?
Yeah.
Patreon.com/The Smoking Tire Podcast is where you ask us questions for the podcast. It's where you get the show early. It's where you get an extra show every month. It's where you get the show without ads. It's where you get all kind of things over there, as well as you get the satisfaction of keeping the lights on your favorite car podcast. Let's go to some of those questions. Bad Gardener says, I currently have a 100 series Lexus LX 470. When I decide to get rid of it, what depreciated luxury SUV should I go with? European brands. I really like the 2012 Range Rover. It's like the last one before that new body style. It was the Ford-based engine. Those were like a really good year for Range Rovers. Clarkson drives one in Clarkson's farm.
Every time I see one, I look at it.
They're nice. Knobs, lots of knobs.
Yep.
There might be some kind of CarPlay retrofit screen system you can get. I'd rather a low mile 2012 than a lot of later ones. Yeah. Domesticated Jaguar XJS. Is it cool to put Transformers emblems on our cars? Never. The answer is no.
I was going to say, if you really like Transformers, sure. But be prepared to be made fun of by people. You shouldn't design your life around what people think, but it's a little childish, I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't come up to you out of nowhere and laugh in your face, but since you asked,
right.
No, it's not cool. It's lame. It's also lame to put your Instagram handle on your car. It's also lame to put any reference to fucking Batman if you have a Lamborghini. Like, stop.
I'd also be curious, like, if they have an XJS, they don't. Like, the name is funny. But why do you want to put a Transformers emblem on it? Now, unless you own a car from Transformers, like you have the Beetle.
Is it better or worse if it's a yellow Camaro?
Oof.
Right?
That's tough. Better, because I guess that car is in the movie, but they also made a Transformers version.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, I think it's better if it's a yellow Camaro. If you actually have a car in the color combo from the movie and it's part of a whole like thing, that's a little better than just like having it on your fucking Hellcat.
Right. If you're doing it for the lulz, I guess, sure. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if your car transforms from a car into a half a car when you smash into a telephone pole, then it's really...
Every car transforms from a car into a submarine.
Think about it.
Think about
it. Oscar Mayer Manxmobile. Pretty good. Not bad. Comparing... Wait. Comparing your riding ability to your driving ability, what car best represents your pace on a motorcycle? Similarly, if you raced yourself in a Miata versus a top-of-the-line Ducati, which would win? That's... Okay, wait. Comparing your riding ability to drive, what car best represents your pace? I mean, yeah, I don't go very fast on motorcycles. Although I think I go faster than I think I do. Like, I think I don't go very fast, but Mike, who had never been up the mountain and rides like a lot of dirt bikes and has like a lot of motorcycle experience, was like, wow, you're going quick. So like, I don't know. But I also like got passed a bunch by like people really on sport bikes. So like, I'm not going that fast. I would say it's easier to answer the second question, honestly. I don't really know how to answer the first question. But like, if I was in a Miata versus a top-of-the-line Ducati, who would win? On a tight road, definitely the Miata.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely the Miata. I could go a lot quicker in a car than I can go on a bike. A lot quicker.
Yeah, but on like a big, like Road America, something that has big straightaways.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I don't, dude. I don't know. I mean, on a track, I would hit 120 or 130 on a bike or something. But I've never ridden over like 110 on a bike before, ever.
But that speed lures you in, Matt. It does.
It doesn't actually. It scares me.
Woos you.
No, straight line speed. Straight line speed scares me on a bike. I don't. Sure. I'm not that interested in it.
But that's why I said like Road America. Any of those tracks that have like huge straightaways where you can rip and then slow down real early. Yeah, and then I would go 10 miles an hour around the corner. Miata would catch me, and then I'd go real fast again. So.
Yeah. No, I don't ride motorcycles to go fast. I don't seek out. I try to improve my skills every time I ride, but I don't try to improve my skills by pushing the pace harder. I enjoy myself. Live Axl Rose, pretty good. I like that. Money Low Object Daily, commuting on West LA. A Bentley, 911, Dakar, or something else. I would say, a Bentley GT Speed Hybrid is about as good a commuter car as exists anywhere on the planet if you have the means, right?
Yeah. I was going to say that, or it's the electric Rolls.
Yeah. But that's just so big, it would be like annoying in traffic. A Bentley is big, but not so big that you're like a rolling roadblock. And like a Bentley, if you got a Bentley in a darker color, like not everybody would stare at you. If you're in an electric Rolls Royce, everybody is staring at you. But also, well, money no object has to be Bentley. For most reasonable people, the best daily imaginable is like a 911 Carrera S. Like, just good at everything.
True, but that commute that he's talking about, unless at some hours, I hate, you'd want an electric vehicle that has really good radar cruise control.
Sure.
And like semi-autonomous driving.
Sure, that too. I mean, look, if you're by yourself, if I actually had to commute in the city, if I had a real job with a real commute, I wouldn't be able to do it on anything except a motorcycle. I would fucking hang myself if I had to sit in that kind of traffic. Like, no way.
You know
motorcycle.
That might be a good... For most of the seasons here, I would go electric motorcycle.
Sure.
For money, no object.
Yeah. Like, not even a live wire, like one of the little like smaller ones for lane splitting, like the Pulse that I had, like that would rip for commuting. That'd be great. Craig S. recently took a trip to LA and noticed a lot of tire squealing noises on the freeways. Do you know why this is? The concrete.
The grooved concrete.
Yeah, the grooved concrete. Makes all kind of noises.
It does.
It's musical.
It kind of is.
Yeah. It's musical. My Acura NSX and different tires make different sounds. My Acura NSX has like really sticky like R compound like track day tires because that was basically all that was available. And man, are those susceptible to that shit. I think stuff is broken.
Yeah.
You know, and when it goes over the grooved concrete to the paint, to the dotted line, it's just like, oh yeah, fuck. Concrete sucks. It's not my favorite. Curtis Bowman says, What other cars outside of the AMG, talking about the SL55 we did a video of last week, best cars for an auto to manual swap, and then throws out the first gen Lexus ISF.
Oh.
Good choice. Good choice, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how that engine would do made into a manual gearbox. I feel like it'd be pretty good. If you put it in neutral and rev it up, it revs pretty free.
Yeah, it's a good 5 liter.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's a 5 liter V8.
Yeah.
And a good one. That's a nice choice.
Let's see. Other great cars only available with a manual. Lexus LFA in the Lexus family, but I don't know where you'd put the shifter. It doesn't
C63
really work.
AMG, like the 507, so many, like any of the early 2000s AMGs, basically. I know that's what you drove.
I mean, all the BMW 850s, like just a bunch of them. A bunch of them are not worth saving as autos that would be worth saving as manuals.
Alfa 4C.
Alfa 4C, yeah. If you could do it, yeah, for sure. E38 BMW 7 Series, sporty shorties.
Those are cool.
Yeah. Roth V wants to know if my mom wants to sell her F-Type. Not to you. I don't think so. She hasn't mentioned it. I'll tell her someone's interested. Give me a number. Throw out a number, Roth V. I can't go in there and go, do you want to sell? She's going to go, what's the number? She's not an idiot. She needs a number. Your mom drives a stick. That's a username. That's not an insult that Roth V threw at my mom. Almost bought a Taycan GTS Sport Turismo, but went Ioniq 5N. The Taycan facelift added power and range and active ride, but I'm struggling with the value proposition of a new one versus the half-priced old ones. Will the values of the new ones sink the same way or hold a bit higher as they offer a lot more? I mean, there's no reason to think, there's no evidence that a new EV will not depreciate quickly. There's no evidence to support that. Which EV has had the magic feature that holds its depreciation better than other EVs? There's no evidence of that happening.
Plus, the active magic ride is amazing, but it's very complicated. So is the air ride on the other ones. But we don't know how reliable that system will be.
Well, but it's going to be warranted. I mean, even if he's talking about CPO at a minimum, right?
All right.
By the way, John Harper's CPO deal. Photographer John Harper, he came out with us this morning to film the Alpha, and he got a 26. This is like six. He bought it 6 months ago, but it's a 2016. It was like 8 years old when he bought it. A Cayenne hybrid with hybrid with like 80,000 something miles on it, and it came with a CPO warranty, a 3-year unlimited mile warranty, which is pretty awesome. So. A CPO warranty on a Taycan with active ride is going to be a pretty cool thing, because that kind of stuff, just like air suspension, those aren't wear items. That is expected to work properly the entire time. Yeah, I said that when I got the CPO on mine. I was like, what about the air suspension? And they're like, nope. It's like it is expected to operate perfectly, and if it's not, it's covered under warranty. It's not a wear item.
Okay. But I would, as you said, there's no way to assume that just because the new car has new cool stuff that it's going to depreciate at a slower rate. No. So I'd rather go get a used one that has a CPO. You'll save yourself like $80,000 probably, or tens of thousands of dollars for sure. Yeah.
I mean, and look, I think active ride is a $7,500 option. So it might add $2,500 or $3,000 to the price of a used one down the road. Like, they don't depreciate slower, but if they have a higher MSRP, a proportion of that will end up in the used one later, right? So the first owner will get like some of their money back for active ride, but not most of it. Lou Skunt loves Matt's hot dog knob. If you formed a dune buggy gang a la cunts, what might you call it? A Manx gang. So if people don't know what cunts is,
I don't.
The Countach union.
Oh, right.
I don't have a union. As a matter of fact, it's like the opposite of the union. They told me that the Manx is ready to come back, It's fixed. It's all done. They've done my notes to the best of their ability, and they said it'll be ready to come back right after its photo shoot. And I was like, hold up. What photo shoot? And so there's the opposite thing. So instead of cunts, maybe it's like suckers or something.
You gotta figure out the acronym.
It'll be cucks.
Yes,
cucks is the opposite. Speed yellow Ledbetter. Pretty good. If you were the CEO of Porsche for a day, what 3 things would you have the company do immediately? Stop making so much money. What 3 things would I do immediately? I would tell every dealer. I would make every dealer investigate people who flipped their GT cars, remove them from the allocations list, and give their allocations to new people who have been waiting. That's number 1. Number 2 is I would have better wheel options for the Macan Electric, because the wheel options for Macan Electric suck. And number 3, I would execute the downloadable car simulation pack for all Porsche EVs. So you could replicate the power and torque curves, power to weight ratios, gear ratios, and engine sounds of vintage Porsches in your electric Porsche. Jacking off the record. Exceptional. Frankly, exceptional. Everything about that is great. How does it feel knowing that so many of your fans make an active effort to bring smiles to your faces with their usernames? Good. It feels
Great,
good.
so fun.
Thanks for asking. Do you know what this is? This a real thing?
It is a real thing.
Billy Idling says, "Have you seen the Stark Varg yet? It feels like the successor to the something something. It's an electric enduro motorcycle that looks, like a dirt bike."
And where's the little picture?
I don't really. It looks like a dirt bike. It seems to have a chain drive. Mm-hmm. It has a little display screen that looks pretty rugged. I mean, it does look cool. Whoa, look at that! That handlebar controller on your left hand grip with those buttons is awesome looking.
It is.
It looks like a Vianney Halter watch. Oh, look at the caption for this photo is the buttons next to the grip could be better. So maybe they don't work as well as they look.
There you go. It looks like a dirt bike.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, this is the kind of thing, like if I had one of Ali's Range Energy, trailers, not the semi one, but the recreational one, the 200 kilowatts, you tow that 3 or 4 of those dirt bikes out to the desert for the weekend, and then you just recharge, you get 5 charges of 5 dirt bikes, and you charge it off that the whole weekend. That could be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Giat Farah? What does that mean? Does that mean
like Gat Farah?
Oh,
is that
really?
that?
No.
I don't know. It's the Y is
Gyatt?
Giat Farah?
Giat?
I'm not sure.
Unsure. Do we think the Oh, wait.
Oh, did that read?
That was very similar to the
I think I
previous question.
copied it twice by accident to rearrange things.
Disrespectfully Agree says, do you think companies like BMW get more leeway with polarizing designs since they are a desirable brand? Personally, I don't think BMW has any good designs, but there's a lot of people who would still buy one because it's a BMW. I do think brand gets you a lot of the way. I also think that people who have already owned BMWs are more likely to just get another one, even if it does look kind of weird. I also have been around people that very much like the designs of most of the new BMWs. I mean, a friend of mine who's not that into cars has one of the iXs,
really,
and thinks it's awesome. Wow. So, I think also I don't know everything. So, BMW does seem to get more. They get a lot of shit because their design language seems to change every 5 years. But the critics seem to care more than the actual customers.
They're selling a lot of cars.
They sell a lot of cars.
I keep pulling up the numbers, and their sales, I think, are up every year for the last couple of years.
So what the fuck do we know? We don't know shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Hennis, see you next Tuesday. That's pretty funny.
That's good.
You're given a stock clean 240 SX and $50K to build it. What direction do each of you take it?
I think there's a sequential box you can get for like $8,000. I would use that, start there, and I mean drift car, but one that I could also set up for grip, with some small changes. That is possible. So it wouldn't be like full angle kit. I would want something I could do both because they're quick on track. When you set them up for road course, these things haul ass.
Yeah. I think I would set it up to be a gravel rally type setup. I'd really want to feel some weight transfer, slide it around, have a nice tight diff.
Have you seen the greatest S15 in the world?
No, is it that? Pretty much. Oh wow. That's a full trophy truck. That looks like Adam's. That looks like Adam's car too.
It does. This is like a full trophy truck. They just put an S15 front end on.
That's a full trophy truck with a fucking S15 body on it. Yeah, approved.
Love it.
Yeah, that's a little more. That's a little more than I want.
More than $50,000 too.
No, basically I would want 8-9 inches of ground clearance, a good diff. I'd want to be able to rip it up fire roads.
Something you could do the Colorado hill climb in.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice turbo engine, reliable, 400 horsepower.
LS.
LS?
It's not that car wouldn't be about the engine. It would the engine would be a way to go fast in that car. I got other cars that sound cool. I don't need to put some weird thing in there that sounds crazy.
I was thinking for the altitude, but now I'm remembering there are people that run old V8 gravel machine gun cars at Colorado Hill Climb.
Jeff drives a GT3.
Awesome. Huh?
Jeff drives a GT3.
Yeah, I know.
It's naturally aspirated.
Sure, but turbo maintain more power.
Yeah, it's all right. With a wheel spin, there's a dirt.
Point.
800 horsepower is not going to do for you. Countach update. Engine lands the 28th. That's in what? Couple days? 2 days?
3 days.
3 days. Engine lands, and then it goes to Damien at Franco's European Sports Cars. The engine does, and then I wait until Damien, it's a very small shop, until he has room for my car, and then the car goes over, and then he goes to work. So, hopefully soon. In the meantime, boy, we have shit to do. So, whatever.
Do you think this is a 2026
I
thing,
won't
or
know.
maybe
I won't
later?
know. What I really need to do is once I get everything over there, something is missing. I just don't know what it is yet. You know what I mean? That's going to be the thing. Hopefully, because we have so many parts and so many bits and so many fucking everythings that we collected from Donnie's. But there's just no way that we have everything. There's not. It's not possible that we have everything. So it's just is the thing that's missing going to be findable?
Cheap or expensive?
There's no such thing as cheap. Cheap.
The bolts are expensive.
The bolts are $15 each. There's no such thing as cheap. It's insanity. But I thought that we already have all the expensive shit. It's just what's missing and is that expensive?
I bought new tabs for my dash to put the trim back in.
Yeah.
And they charge $4.95 a piece for these tiny pieces of plastic.
Yeah.
Very upsetting.
And it also does remain to be seen. I didn't get photos of the engine and gearbox in the crate. I don't know how they were loaded. Meaning, I don't know if the engine and gearbox are together. If they are, then that means I also have a new clutch and new flywheel in there. But if they're separate, I sent them my clutch and flywheel. I sent them a whole bunch of things that was use if you need, blah blah blah. So I'm not sure what of that is coming back and how. So I can't make an estimate in just I bet if Damien did nothing else but put my car back together, he could probably have it back together in 2 or 3 weeks. Probably. If everything's there. I mean, if one guy does nothing else,
sure,
probably.
Yeah. It's
just, putting parts together. But, something's missing and we don't know what. So, can't wait to find out.
Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes.
So good.
That's pretty good, man. I like that. After watching and listening to all the coverage of Car Week, I'm hoping we've reached peak reimagining. I'm tired of retro future 80s and 90 cars. What's your opinion? It's very tough because you cannot build a brand new. It's very hard for a company to come out of nowhere and build a car from scratch that they can legally sell in America and Europe to the public. That's just like very, very hard to do. And so if you're a new company, it sort of makes more sense to start with these existing VINs, especially like pre-76, like Beetles or Alphas or whatever, that you can then essentially build whatever the fuck you want. And there's a place like California can't say, wait a minute, it doesn't meet smog, it doesn't meet this, it doesn't meet that. So like, I understand why they're saying that, but the mainstream OEMs are not giving us the real, quote, driver's cars that we are seeking in a lot of the ways, and these small boutique outfits have stepped up to fill that gap, and it's just so much easier if they start with a based on something. I want to see more of it. I'm going to go the other way. I want to see more of it. I want to see somebody really do somehow, reimagine a car that really surprises me. The Alfa GTV it's a beautiful, but predictable, right? Like that right. Makes sense that they would do that. The P1800 was a great example of surprise and delight. Yeah, the steering wasn't very good, but the execution of the construction and a lot of other things about that car were real rad.
That's very true, and it was out of left field because I rarely see P1800s at any car event. I saw one in Car Week, and you never see them modified. It's just, and you see E30s and you see this and that all the time, 2002s. I'm for it because it's really just the end of the road for modification. And I'm all about people customizing their cars and seeing how they can push any car in whatever direction they want. The reimagining thing is just a term, it's money, no object, usually. And it's how far do you want to take this kind of idea? So I like that.
I mean, look, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this was just called Pro Touring.
It
wasn't called reimagining. It was called Pro Touring, and now we just don't like muscle cars anymore. We like cars from the 80s, and we're Pro Touring those cars. It's just a new word for the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
So it's not going to stop. It's just going to keep moving forward.
Yep.
And we'll see where it ends up, but that's what this is. This is the same shit.
I want to trademark this idea for Thaddeus because every week we talk on the phone and he goes, someone should really singer the E36 M3. And I'm like, I don't have any money. And he's like, someone should do it.
Nah.
And then so.
The best case scenario is not that good for that car.
I think it depends on what you want to. It depends on how much you want to charge. And
who wants that? Who wants that? You're better off doing an E30 or an E46 or an E28 M5.
I think people really like the way the E36 looks.
I think they're insane.
Oh, well, I like it.
Okay.
But it has so many problems that we hate. You just got to fix all of those.
Yeah. Also from Lou Skunt, loves Matt's hot dog knob. Will the EV Boxster Cayman be a fantastic car that's doomed to flop? Oh, that's a tough one. Maybe.
It's a good point.
Yeah, maybe. I'll tell you what, though. If they can't move them, if they're on lots and they can't move them, at the right price, I'm a customer.
Right, like the Charger EV right now is discounted, what, $40,000?
So
some
cheap.
Huge number.
Yeah.
If they do that with this,
at the right price,
because it'll have Porsche's attention on dynamics and stuff, it might drive really good.
My Taycan is at service right now getting the battery module recall done. It's a software thing. Apparently it was kind of a big deal, but it's a software thing. It's not hardware. And also they're replacing the other bit of Windows. So they replaced the driver's window seal because they're frameless. So the seal's at the bottom. It was I don't know why, but it was leaving a sticky residue on the bottom of the window. All right, they replaced it. It's never done it again. Passenger one. So they replaced that. Car's there, and okay, fine. But when I was down there, I just did a little walk ski around, see what's what. A lot of Macan electrics. So something tells me that you know, those will be a buyer's market pretty soon. There's going to be cash on the hood for those, and good. I don't regret my decision. I'm starting to see a lot of Macan electrics around, and I'm like, shit, that thing, $20,000 extra for that versus what I've got. I'm in the money all day. Tim A. Oh wait. Well, I think Tim A's question reveals an answer, which is the Dodge Charger EV is such a dud. What EV maker could create a stylish two-door performance GT car in the muscle car EV formula? I just think muscle cars and EVs are diametrically opposed.
I totally agree.
Muscle cars aren't even about going fast. They're about making noise. That's the whole point of a muscle car.
I would almost want to ask anyone under the age of 30, like you could poll 100 of them and say, do you know what a muscle car is?
Yeah.
And see what their answers are. Because if you weren't exposed to 60s cars, and nowadays, like, you know, Mustangs and Camaros are kind of called pony cars sometimes, or general performance cars. They're more well-rounded. So I just think that term is locked to an era and an attitude and a sound and engines, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it.
Yeah. Everything clean but the ashtray is one of the best hip-hop lines ever written. Mystical, big truck driver. One of the greatest hip-hop songs ever written, and it should be played at maximum volume whenever you are driving a G-Wagon. I just went from a 7-seater that tows, from needing a 7-seater that tows, to needing a 6-seater that doesn't tow. What would you daily if you had to be able to occasionally seat 6? What's the difference? I mean, 6 is
3 rows.
It's I mean,
There's a lot of cars that have 3 rows, but like we don't drive them very often.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm like, I
mean,
Tahoe.
Durango Hellcat. That's a 3-row.
Those are fun.
They're pretty. They
Those
are pretty fun. Escalade,
Which
fucking
you can tow with
Escalade Corvette. What do you call it?
Escalade V.
Escalade V.
Escalade Corvette is a great name.
Yeah. What about? I mean, it's old, but a Mercedes R63.
Yes. Does that seat 6?
Yeah.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
man, those are cool.
Yeah.
They look like a wagon that got stung by bees.
Yeah. Like, what else is cool with the 3rd row?
Ooh, Volvo like
XC90
740 Turbo or something, the old one.
Oh, an old
rear
one.
facing. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say XC90s.
Oh, those are really
XC90s
nice.
are lovely. That seats 6. Yeah. Long wheelbase Range Rover.
I think Hyundai Telluride does. Just keep that warranty.
Silence of the Lambo. I like it. I think they've used that before. Favorite cover car from the tuner magazine era. Do you have a favorite tuner car, a specific tuner car that you remember, Zach? I only really remember one. No, I mean 2, but one is the Roof Yellowbird, and that doesn't count here.
I don't remember any of them from the main magazines. I know they did stories occasionally, and then I subscribed to Eurotuner for a while, but my brain has just blended them all together like, you know, gummy bears left in the sun.
Sure.
So,
I mean, the 2 that come to mind are the top secret Supra that had the twin turbo Toyota Century V12 in it. That's pretty.
the gold one?
The gold one.
Yeah.
That
car's
one was
amazing.
Remember we saw it at the Audrain?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that. So that one, and then with the first time I saw the Brabus Rocket, which was where they put the V12 twin turbo into an E-Class, and I was like, oh, they are not fucking around. That is
They saw, and then Jason, what's the guy's name from Fifth Gear?
Plato.
He drove the Brabus Rocket when I think they put it in a CLS.
Right.
And I remember seeing that video on the internet, and I was like, I don't know what this car is, but I am following Brabus everywhere on Facebook for a long time because that was so cool.
You should have seen they do a bunch of different stuff now.
Yeah.
They do boats and they do Rolls Royces and shit. Their setup at Car Week was like kind of insane. Habibi, come back.
Habibi, come back.
Wants to know, can you each run through a top 3 list of your favorite bantam weight cars.
Oh, like ultralight stuff.
Sure.
The Gordon Murray rocket, I think, is super cool.
Light
I'd
car
love
company
to drive
rocket.
that one day. Caterham,
Sure.
any of them. And I mean, how do we? What else makes really light? I mean, Miata, that's too heavy. Are we saying that? Are we saying sub 2,000 pounds?
No, I mean, there's no. It's just bantamweight, lightweight cars. For me, it's that Alpine, the modern one, but it's light by modern standards. You know, the Manx, which is just fucking hilarious, and.
If we can count Alpine, I will add that. That'll be my third.
I think you can. And, the 1985 Porsche 911 Club Sport prototype that I drove that was it was 1,100 kilograms and 240 horsepower, and I thought it had 350 horsepower, and it was fucking nasty. That was aces. Nice Cam says, what's the most you'd spend on a watch if you knew it was guaranteed to not lose more than 5% value but has a chance to increase in value? I mean, it's not like, it's more about what's the most expensive watch I'd feel comfortable wearing outside. And I think that number is like, this is going to sound like an asshole, but like $40,000 or $50,000. But like, I'd buy a Grand Seiko Kodo if I was rolling in it, and that's $350,000. And if I had enough where I could spend that and it didn't matter, or you wouldn't lose the money, I would buy a Grand Seiko Kodo absolutely for $350,000, or a fucking MB&F or something. If I had the money, but like, how much would I spend is more of a function of like, I'd rather like, how much do you spend versus like what would I actually wear out of the house? Mm-hmm. Like I can't walk out of the house with a $100,000 watch on. That's just, I couldn't do it. Have the money or not. When I was at the fucking auction, name drop incoming, when I was at Gooding with Seinfeld, we looked at that Ferrari 250 GT California, the Ferris Bueller fucking, and I was like, that's the shit. And he's like, that is the shit. And I was like, why don't you have something like that? And he's like, I can't pull up to the curb and get out of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Porsches are more stealthy. It's real if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even a dope one is like, it's not that. Like, he's like, everybody knows what that is.
That is in the zeitgeist as being an expensive car.
Yeah. He's like, it's all anyone knows about it is that it's insanely expensive. He's like, doesn't matter how it drives. He's like, that's it. So, all right, I get it. 2 more, and then we're calling it, because I got my trainer this afternoon. Okay. Christian says, how much quality is there in a Christopher Ward watch? A lot. They make a very nice watch. Their prices are a little above what you would get for a micro brand watch, but that is a high quality product. Okay, wait.
Let's do this. This one's for helping a teenager buy a car.
Up to your ass in gas. My young son is newly qualified to drive on a manual license. I don't know what a manual license is, but let's assume it means he can drive stick. I have the opportunity to help him into a new car, as his current one is an issue that's expensive. He's paying it all back, but over time. Initially, the offer was to get him into a practical and economical EV, but instead he wants to drive a manual while they are available new. Am I overindulging him to help him into a Miata over an EV? I'm possibly letting my own enthusiasm get in the way of a practical life lesson. What is the life lesson that he's supposed to learn that you're preventing him from if he gets a Miata? Is there supposed to be a life lesson that I'm missing?
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I thought unless he's learning a lesson on his current car that he has to pay for to fix, and then you help him get into a new-ish Miata. Is that teaching him the wrong thing?
Well, no, look, there's an argument to be made as a parent, and I'm not a parent, but like, okay, fix the old car versus get a new car. That's one argument. Mm-hmm. But if you're already willing to indulge that he's going to be getting a new car of some kind, now it's just a matter of the car that you want him to have, or the car that he wants. But it seems like you kind of are willing to get him the car that he wants, but you're concerned that somehow that's the wrong thing for reasons. I don't think there's anything wrong with a teenager driving a Miata. In fact, I think that's probably a totally okay thing, as long as the teenager understands that this is a small car that doesn't fit much.
I think that, and that it's rear-wheel drive, and that I think I'm in support of this because it could get your kid into cars if they're not already. Driving a Miata, it's a great way to expose someone to handling balance and like all these fun things we love about driving, that it's away from horsepower. It's not about that stuff. It's like they might learn the nuances of driving. You could eventually turn it into like a race car with your son. You know, you could have a great relationship, and this could be like the foundation of a great automotive relationship with you guys. The danger, I think, is that it's a small car that's rear-wheel drive. You can turn traction off. And so do you know your son? Is your son a responsible person and they're not going to do that shit? Or are they going to go out there and try to FD this thing and hurt themselves? Like, in that regard, I think, you know, a boring EV is a more responsible thing. It's a lot harder to get into, like, let's call it dynamic driving trouble, although they tend to be really fast.
I don't know. All EVs are fast.
They're very fast.
The practical boring EV might have double the horsepower of the fucking Miata.
That's true. I think it's easy to have a accident in an EV because they're so fast. It's easier to have a crash because a Miata makes you go, ooh, watch this.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if your teenager is enthusiastic enough about driving that they're talking about getting a Miata while they still can, I don't see any problem indulging that. And you know, if you're talking about I assume you're talking about maybe a lightly used Miata, not a brand new one. These are fairly flat investments. If you buy a decent Miata and you take good care of it, and they decide they don't actually want it in 6 months or a year, you can probably get most of your money back. It's probably not an expensive lesson to learn, you know? All right. That's our show today. We have more shows coming. I'm not traveling for 2 whole weeks. Yay. So, not traveling for, actually, that's not even true. It's like 8.
For like 3
weeks. I'm traveling in like 8 days, actually. But I thought it was 2 weeks, but then I was like, no, it's not Friday. It's definitely now Monday. But lots more shows coming. Thank you to our patrons for all your support and your great questions. Do all the liking and all the subscribing. We'll have Aston Martin Vanquish review up this week. We'll have the SSC Tuatara video up next week. And then I think this Alpha probably after that. So thank you all for supporting The Smoking Tire, and we will see you later. Bye.